So I just wanted to talk about this topic that I saw real quick about are girl gamers rare? I think that was the name of it. I don't know. I'm about to actually check right now, but whatever, because I need to read what she said. Sometimes I can read, sometimes I can't. I don't know how this one's going to turn out, but I'm just going to maybe read just part of what she typed and then make my response. So, Gamer Chick 9001 said, this discussion has probably been done to death by now, but a personal incident has brought this to mind. So obviously, by my username, I am a girl who plays video games. Nothing big. This is mainly my default username for when I'm feeling uncreative. Blame my 16-year-old me when I first thought of this username. Anyway, my Ask FM page, some anonyms, I think she meant to type anonymous. Guy asked me if I was really a girl. Confused, I told him yes. She meant to say, then he decided to go on about how, unlike other girls, I am and now not too many girls play video games. Okay, I don't really understand that, but I'm just gonna continue reading this. Interesting, because after this incident, I did my research, and by research I mean Googled a lot of websites, which is basically research. And according to almost every site I went to, about 41% of people who play video games are girls, not to mention a lot of my friends who are girls play video games, not to mention I've met a lot of girls on the internet and here on MCL who also play video games. So I wasn't charmed by this narrow-minded compliment. Compliments in quotations, so sarcasm. Then she's saying after she confirmed her gender, he started getting all creepy and stuff, asking her for pictures. And she said it happened a few months ago, but she saw it happening again, I think. She said she heard a lot of stories about girl gamers. She never experienced it until that point. She says she knows some guys who knows that she plays video games and they're okay with it. Well, they're your friends, so, you know, I've never heard of anyone like, oh my god, my friends freaking hate that I play games and they're guys. Like, those aren't friends. She says girls are often given advice to keep their gender a secret. I don't agree with that. Like, I don't think that they're given the advice. I think they just do that because a lot of girls will play things like, Halo and crap like that, and they'll put on their headsets or whatever. They'll be like, oh my god, I love Call of Duty, and, people will be like, oh my god, you're a girl, and then they'll start saying, suck my dick, and all this other shit, and it's like, they just rather turn the headset off than hear that crap, that you don't really need advice like, what do I do? Cut off your headset. They make the decision themselves, from what I've learned over time. So she's saying, like, that's, since the girls do that, that's probably a reason why they, stereotype them as girls don't play video games. She said it isn't going to die anytime soon, and that's a really sad fact. She said she's been wanting to make a topic about this for a while, but she never had the guts to. She said, I'm interested in seeing everyone's thoughts and stuff. And she said, try to keep it civil. The reason I was so hesitant to make this topic in the first place was because of backlash. My bad. I often see on things like Facebook and YouTube, but MCL is better monitored and the community is more well behaved. No, they're not. So hopefully we have nothing to worry about. Okay, so I definitely agree with her on a lot of what she said. It was like I was saying before, people just make that choice because when you're being harassed, even with like people who will be bullied in school, they're not going to really stand up if they're afraid or if they're being harassed because it's easier to just hide yourself. So that's why people hide themselves. But the fact of the matter is, like, even I grew up with Nintendo when I was a little kid. Like, there's all kinds of games that I played with my sisters. It was three of us, and then there was our brother. And people just have weird complexes, and a lot of people are stupid. It's kind of just like how people always say girls have too many feelings, but I've heard several times, just recently, within the past year actually, guys saying, I feel like blah, 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 blah. But when you hear a guy say it, you just look over it like you didn't even hear it. But when you hear a girl say it, you're like, ugh, women and their feelings. Because over time, it's been so dramatized. Like, people notice it when it's from a female. But when it's from a male, they just look over it because it hasn't been stereotyped that way. Same thing with crying. People cry. But when a guy cries, they're like, oh, be a man. It's just people are freaking stupid. So the other thing I have to say is that everything comes around. Everything comes around. So even with, like I said before, bullying, people will be bullied and it was cool. Now it's not. Things with gays, people were saying, oh, you can't be gay, it's not real. Or how gays and lesbians would always say, oh, bisexuals don't know what they want. And now it's coming around to where people are being ridiculed for being straight, or things with like how Christians butcher the hell out of people who aren't Christian, and out of people who have sexual orientations that don't agree with their religion or whatever. So as time has gone by, now whenever somebody says that they're Christian, people butcher them. Everything comes around. There's always some kind of balance, So for right now, yeah, girls are being talked about because they're girl gamers, but as time goes by, it's going to come around again to probably guys being made fun of because they, just play games to get off on being around girls or something. I don't know, because it hasn't happened yet, but everything comes around. So I'm trying to see if I have any other comments off of this. That whole thing about, oh, some girls do it for attention, like, it's like I was saying before with, applying things to different situations. Everybody, like, well, not everybody, but things have people in it who do them for attention. Like, certain people be into sports for attention, guys and girls. Certain people be into school work. I know that that's not the word. Courses, but or people will pretend like they have some kind of taste for art and shit, or video games and TV shows. Like, people do it with everything. So the whole thing about girls playing games for attention, that's just like what I was saying with the whole girls having too many feelings, but when a guy does it, like, people just look over a guy saying, I feel this, I feel like that. So it applies to this too. Yeah, there are some girls who do it for attention, but that happens with basically anything that people do for fun or for some kind of, even with not sports, working out. Like, people do it with a lot of stuff. It's not just gaming. So that's not going to stop anytime soon. That's why we have the word poser. You're a poser, man. You're a poser. I feel like there's one more thing. Oh, I saw a comment saying, would you rather aim that aggression at video games or people on the street? We all know guys have testosterone and all that shit, but, you look back, they didn't do that before. If you look back to before video games were a thing, back when black and white TV was like, freaking new technology and shit, you didn't see guys just walking down the street socking the shit out of other guys. So that comment was bullshit. Like, whatever. Yeah, guys may want to take their aggression out in video games, but the fact is, you're a person, I'm a person, we're all people. If you want to be a troll, that's fine, but you can't make excuses for it. So the same thing applies with video games. Like, if a guy is trolling in a video game, or by trolling I mean, like, if they're like, rah rah rah, oh, you're a bitch, suck my cock, all that stuff that people, that's not the reason why they turned on the game, to hear you sucking your own dick. Like, no, nobody cares. So if you're going to be a troll, there's no excuse for it. You're just being an asshole. Period. The last thing I'll say is that people have this problem. People got a lot of problems. Like I said, a lot of people are stupid and ignorant, but people have a really big problem with being on a computer because they're not talking to someone face to face. If you're going to say some shit on a fucking computer, you have to talk like that in real life. I'm not going to pretend to be something that I'm not. If you want to do that, that's fine. But there's no excuse for it other than you're behind this computer screen. So guys, I guess, will change who they are when playing a video game. But that's because a lot of people, and I mean a lot of fucking people, change who they are on the internet. Anytime you see a comment where someone says, oh, you're a bitch or fuck you to some person who they don't even know, and the person wasn't cursing at them first, they were just making a comment about, oh, I like this, or I didn't really like that, and then the next person says, fuck you, you stupid asshole. Those are people who hide behind the computer screen, because they wouldn't just come out and say that shit to the person's face for no reason at all. So if you have guys on the internet, or girls on the internet, or people who play games who say these things, it has nothing to do with aggression. It has nothing to do with shit that they went through throughout their day. It has to do with the fact that they're not speaking to your face. There are no rules. They can say whatever the fuck they want. So that's who they truly are on the inside. And they're not afraid. But it still makes them cowards because you're not saying the shit to someone's face.